Good evening, everyone. For my policy project or presentation, we're going to look at LRE, Least Restrictive Environment, a Path to Inclusion. Least restrictive environment is a pivotal principle under the IDEA Act, which ensures that students with disabilities learn alongside their peers, have access to equitable education and other opportunities. But before we unpack those opportunities, we want to look at what it really means to be in a least restrictive environment by unpacking the guiding questions. My guiding questions for this policy project were: how does LRE address behavioral, not just academic needs? What policy tensions emerge around declassification? Please note, I abridged these questions. If you did not know, LRE promotes inclusivity, and it also ensures that students learn alongside their peers through collaborative learning and understanding. For students with disabilities, this is very important. It goes beyond a legal mandate and also provides the opportunity for them to engage fully academically, socially, to mitigate their feelings of isolation and support their overall development as they gain skills to really be inclusive and included. The IDEA Act is really one of the founding principles for the LRE. It supports the legal expectations of how students with disabilities learn. But really, when it comes to thinking about LRE, you have to think about the behavioral needs of students, not just the academic needs. As educators, we must really think about the integration of behavioral and academic metrics in order to really look at how can we create those environments for students and ensure that they are receiving the best quality education. It takes a dual focus. The LRE placement should encompass emotional, social, and behavioral aspects, not just academic performance. It is really about approaching this with the holistic development of the child, especially when it comes to decision making. Many things I looked at, especially when it came to research, had a lot to do with case studies and how students with disabilities often have academic and behavioral challenges, and it's necessary to really move beyond compliance. But we have to think about what can stakeholders do to support the well-being and growth for students with disabilities. This will mean that those stakeholders, the family, the educators, the service providers, are all working together and communicating in order to create that environment for students and address their needs. States and districts also have an important role and responsibility that go beyond the policy guidance and compliance. They really need to be there to ensure that the principles of least restrictive environment are followed. Family involvement is pivotal, and oftentimes that involvement is silenced, but we need to know what families or how families view their child's needs, preferences, and strengths in order to support and build that trust with families and that shared goal. Some things I thought about in order to shift the policy and the recommendations and the future implications were: thinking about the eligibility of special education services and how it encompasses both. Are we looking at the whole child? How are we supporting the child with targeted interventions to promote success in the least restrictive environments? How are we training our staff? What are the staff trained in de-escalation practices or culturally responsive practices to ensure that the space is safe and promotes the best academic and behavioral growth for students with disabilities? Are we looking at inclusive practices on a school-wide level so that we can ensure that students feel valued, that the schools are truly celebrating diversity so every child can thrive? Are we looking at the educational values? And for me, those values in terms of policy, my top one was choice, because I believe that you cannot have anything without this family input. But in conclusion, The least restrictive environment is about supporting the whole student and framing this work to ensure that we are being inclusive, equitable, and that we create a community and experiences where students can thrive and succeed and belong in their school.